So this webpage is geogebra.org, Geogebra, Geogebra, and it's full of all kinds of great tools and resources and downloads that you can use for free in your math classroom. And it's just a great way for your students to explore math, especially geometry. As you can see on the homepage, they have a graphing calculator, even a 3D graphing calculator. It's full of downloads that you can download and then use for free in your classroom. And it's got all kinds of great resources that you can use for free in your classroom. Great technology resources and tools that you can use to help your students think critically in math class and solve problems, especially problems with three-dimensional figures and in geometry. One of my favorites that I used this semester with my students was the cross sections tool. So I'm just going to go to the search bar and type in cross sections, and it is, you see it pulls up all kinds of tools. I'm going to click on the one that says sections of 3D shapes, and it'll bring me to this page right here. And then from here I see all of the different three-dimensional figures that I can click on. So we'll just look at sections of rectangular prisms, and then it brings me to this great interactive tool that I can use to explore the cross sections of a rectangular prism. So I can, over here on this side, I can adjust where my cross section is going to be along the prism, and I can turn the prism different ways to see it from different angles. And then in this section right here, I can change how I slice my figure, and then visually see what cross section the slice creates depending on how I slice the figure. And then I can change the transparency of my plane that I'm slicing the figure with, and change the transparency of the figure, of the actual 3D figure. And then I can even view it from the section side. So this is just a great tool to help your students explore and visualize cross sections, because students, they do have a hard time seeing those cross sections in their mind. It's hard for them to visualize that. So when you're introducing cross sections, this is a great tool to use to help them see that cross section. And then of course there are the different figures, 3D figures, and it works the same way. You can change how you slice the figure and move the three-dimensional figure around. An awesome tool. When I used this tool with my students, I actually gave them a graphic organizer to fill in as they were using this tool, so they weren't just sitting here spending 30 minutes spinning the tool around. So they actually had to fill in this graphic organizer and turn it in at the end of class. So I had the different three-dimensional figures here, and then they of course had to identify the solid, identify the shape of the base, how many faces that 3D figure had, and then when they got to cross sections, they had to slice the figure in 3 different ways. So parallel to the base, let's see, get my toolbar over here. So they had to slice it parallel to the base and then draw or write the shape created. So circle would have been here. They had to slice it perpendicular to the base. So the cross section would have been a rectangle. And then they had to slice it diagonally to the base, which would have created an oval. So in doing this and filling out this graphic organizer and slicing the figure the 3 different ways, it helps students memorize and learn the 3 rules that we want them to know about cross sections that are when you slice the figure parallel to the base, the cross section will look like the base. When you slice it perpendicular to the base, it will look like the lateral face. And when you slice it diagonally, the cross section will look like the base stretched out. So this was just an awesome tool that I really enjoyed using in my classroom, and my students enjoyed it as well. It was a break from just the everyday worksheets, and they got to do something on the computers and actually manipulate this tool to see the different cross sections.